Hey, Econ 12. So in section 3.1, we're talking about the way that the economic problem gets answered. And specifically, we're talking about the way that markets operate. So the economic problem, which you guys understand, can be defined as unlimited desires and limited resources, gets answered when you think about how are we going to take the resources we have and what are we going to do with them in order to produce the things that we want to produce according to our values as a society, as a nation, as a community, etc. So there's three essential questions that get asked. What do we produce? How do we produce it? And for whom is it going to be produced? To answer these three really important basic economic questions, people over time, societies over time, have developed various approaches to doing that. There's what we call traditional economy, there's the command economy, and there's the market economy, also called the free market economy. And as the world has become increasingly globalized, and at various times, a mixed economy is often the most common variation. You'll see blends of two or even three of these ideas together. So something I'm going to be asking you to do is to be able to define each of these three economies: a market economy, a command economy, and a traditional economy. We explored these economies in our Hatmaker exercise, which you guys did a great job of, and I think we all had a lot of fun. Another concept that's important to understand in this section is what's called the market flow diagram. So the market flow diagram can be found on page 15, and it shows the relationship between businesses or firms and households. And so I'm going to ask you to be able to draw the circular flow diagram and just briefly explain what's going on in it. So make sure you study that concept. So one of the important concepts that ends off this chapter is the concept of economic goals. So we're going to talk about goals and value systems. Each one of you has goals and value systems by which you make decisions. The same is true of societies, communities, and even individual firms or households. So if there's 5, 6, 7 major values that maybe a nation can have, as defined by the 1964 Economic Council of Canada, they talked about 5 major values that they felt Canadian society had. Over time, people have added 1 or 2 different goals to that. You guys are going to need to know these, different economic goals and be able just to kind of understand and to phrase back to me how different types of economic goals would play into the way that a system is actually executed. And then finally, this leads us to a more nuanced understanding of the fact that not all of these goals may be able to be hit all at the same time. And there may be some extreme innovation needed in order to hit these goals. But it's interesting to see how national priorities reflect the values and goals of its citizens.